Okay, hey Mikaela. Sorry we couldn't get our Class Connect to work out, but there were just a few things I wanted to go over with you about, particularly about the final exam. I haven't graded yours yet, but I was just kind of looking over it just to kind of get a feel for how you were doing. And there were a couple sections I just wanted to clarify with you real quick. And you're not the only one struggling with this. I should probably put a how-to video together for everybody, but okay. So with this first section, what you need to do is we are actually, it's kind of like journaling these transactions, only we're just going to copy them into their correct T accounts. So for each transaction, there's going to be an account that's debited and an account that's credited. So just like we would in journaling. So how we set it up now with these T accounts, for this first one on October 1st, we invested $20,000 into the business. So first, I guess we should probably go in and put in our, oops, oh great, oh no. See, I'm still not used to this open office stuff yet. Oh no, how do I even get out? Okay, there we go. So first we need to go in and put in our all your increase and decrease signs, which I think it looks like you had most of them correct. Okay, so with our first transaction on October 1st, so since this is our first transaction, we invested $20,000 into the business. Okay, so that's going to increase my cash by $20,000, and like you had in your answer, it's going to increase our capital account by $20,000. Okay, and that's number one. We have our debit and we have our credit. So then we look at number two. Okay, in the second transaction, we bought equipment for $1,000. So that's going to decrease our cash for bought equipment for $1,000, and it's going to increase our equipment account. So this is still transaction 2, and it's increasing our equipment account by $1,000. So that's how you do this first one. I know it really didn't explain itself very well, but just to clarify, so you'll need to do a debit and credit for each transaction and just list them in the appropriate T accounts, like so. Okay, so that's the first short answer problem. This next one, let me look. I have yours open right next to me. Oh yeah, on this next one, you did awesome. This the worksheet, you nailed it. So great job on the worksheet. Leave that one alone. Okay, you did great on you got your income statement and you balanced everything out correctly. So way to go. All right, so now number 14, they give us a worksheet and then we're creating all those financial statements out of it. So this first one's the income statement, and let me just double check here. You might have done, I have like 20 different things open right now on my other screen. So income statement. Okay, it looks like you did the income statement correctly, so we will leave that alone. Let's look at the statement of owner's equity. Okay, with this one, so with this one, okay, let me just, this is what you have in your answer. So typically how we write these owner's equity statements is we put our beginning capital of $5,000 on this side, not on this side. We have we add, make sure you're putting in Oh yeah, it looks like you do. So then we add in our net income, which was $40. So anything that we're adding, we want to put over here. And then once we add it is when we write it over here. So same with, we less our withdrawals here of $100. So we don't need that $100 there. We just need it over here. So then we take our increase minus our decrease to get our ending capital, which I'll let you go ahead and redo the math for that one. Just a little off there. So that's the owner's equity statement. Let's see what you have for a trial balance. Oh, good. Trial balance looks good. Nice. You did awesome on these financial statements. Okay. You did great on the financial statements, but this is what I want to clear up. This is what I wanted to talk to you about mainly tonight. So number 15 is back to our good old journaling situation. So where it gives us the transaction, and then we have to name the account and whether it's a debit or a credit amount. One thing, I don't know if you remember seeing my email, and I'll pull. So this is your assignment on top here. This is what I got from you. And notice the list of accounts is different. And I tried to send this to this new template to you, but I think you'd already started on this one. So go ahead and on yours, add in this cash and cash and bank and rework your numbers so that it looks more like this one, rather than, again, here's what you have and here's what you need to have. So my bad on that one. It shouldn't throw you off too much, but until you get to your ledger parts. So just make sure that you add in this cash and bank, or I guess you're adding in the cash account and then naming cash or naming bank to cash and bank. So that's just the big change on the list of accounts there. Okay, so then what we're doing with these transactions is we're journaling them. And it's kind of easy. Like I have the transactions opened on another screen, so I don't have to scroll up and down all the time. But okay, so our first transaction and once I start doing this, you're probably going to be like, oh yeah, I remember we did that way back at the beginning of the semester. So I'll just do a couple here to show you. So on July 1st, we had the transaction is commenced business with cash. So we've started our business. So that always affects our cash account, which is debited, and the amount's $180,000. And then that also affects our owner's capital, which is credited by that same amount. Okay, this is the journal entries that I need to see. Next one is July 3rd. We debited, it says transferred from cash to cash and bank. So we transferred from our cash account. So our cash account is going to decrease. So our cash and bank account, we're transferring that money over, so that's going to increase. Oops, by $55,000. And then we transferred that from cash, so cash is going to decrease $55,000. Okay, I'll do one more. On July 4th, we purchased goods with cash. So our purchases, and the reason I know to use purchases is go back up here and refer to your list of accounts, and that's how I always know what account I'm supposed to be working with. When they tell me purchases, I know I'm going to be using my purchases account. So that's going to, if I purchase goods, it's going to increase. So I'm going to debit, because it's an asset. And then my cash I purchased it with cash, my cash is going to decrease 22,000. Okay, so that's the journal entries that I need to see. Okay, here let me drag over what you have going on. So I think you just kind of forgot, since it's been a long time since we've done journal entries. So with each transaction, I need to see the accounts that are affected, and then the amount debited with that account and the amount credited with that account. So that's your journal entries. Okay, and then let's see. So with your journal entries, the next part then, let me get this out of the way. The next part then is your ledgers, and your ledgers don't look too bad, but they're going to change once you journalize everything correctly. So we've done, you know, a couple of those assignments in the past, so definitely refer back to those assignments just to like refresh on how to set up those ledger accounts. And in checking out your trial balance, yeah, your trial balance looks a little rough here. So for instance, a revenue account, okay, you might need to refresh on what type of balance that account has. It's not a debit balance for a revenue account. Same with withdrawals. Double check your notes and go back and look at old assignments to figure out what type of balances those accounts have. Same with your expenses here. Okay. Capital. Okay, your assets have your debit balance, assets and expenses and withdrawals. Your liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue accounts have credit balances. So double check all your balances to make sure you're up to date on those. Okay, then it looks like here, okay, this is still your assignment. And this actually looks really good. Yeah, this looks good, except you just need to finish filling those out. So what's your total salary expense and so on. This is another change that I made in that other template. It should be $177, and I think yours, well, obviously it says 187, so change that to 177 if you would. And because I don't know if you've noticed, but this curriculum has been kind of rough in this class. There's kind of been some mistakes in and out, and we're just working with them and working through them. So that is all I wanted to go over with you really tonight. Basically that journaling section, because that's a big chunk of this test. And other than that, you did great on your financial statements. And yeah, that's really all I wanted to show you tonight. So just let me know if you have any questions, and if you still do, or if you're still confused, we can try again at starting up a Class Connect session sometime. So that's all I have. Thanks, Mikaela.